Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. We are going to do a flip through of the calendar journal, and if you haven't seen the other videos for this, there's a whole playlist and it's called Grungy Calendar Journal. And I started with one of those glossy picture calendar planner things that are already spiral bound and all that. So all I did is kind of grungy up that spiral. It was white, which you can still see some of the white, but I like it with the alcohol ink on there. I put the Ranger Caramel alcohol ink. It's one of these, but it's the caramel one. Just directly on there, and that's what gave me that rusty look on there. And it also kind of colored the photo album, or the oh my goodness, calendar. I apologize. I don't know what is wrong with my brain. Okay, so this one, like I said, it is definitely grungy. It's all textury and yummy because I used gesso. And I even went in the other day and just inked around all these photos and things. So there's a lot of detail in this one to make it nice and fabulous and grungy like that. So the cover is just all collaged, and then the back has the brown packing paper that I have, gessoed, black acrylic paint, ink, lots of the distress ink in Vintage Photo I've put on here. I've sprayed it a little bit with ground espresso. So yeah, just, wanted to get it really grungy, and it has a really cool feel to it. So then we go inside and we have a pocket page, and these pockets are in my abandoned kit. They're just nice and grungy. They're paper, but they look like leather or fabric or whatever. And inside there's some fun tags that go in there, and this journal is spoken for, so thank you. And then just a couple of other bits and pieces. This is my secondhand store digital, and this is my haunted images. I get those two confused because I made them at the same time, and they have a very similar look. This is these images are in my Spooky Past is what that one is called. They're old Dragera types, and that's what they actually look like. They're photographs, but the process that they used with mercury, as it ages, it kind of just gets spooky looking. I don't know. But then here we have our paper that's been stitched, crumpled and stitched, and then behind it, after I poked the holes in it, I added, like the ghost in the spooky house, and this guy with a ghost behind him, and over here we have a witch, and then these ones are just different papers that are in there. And I did that on one of my 50 stack challenges. There's another one of those Dragera types that are in my Spooky Past digital kit. So that is a pocket, and then when you flip it over, there's another pocket on the back with another Dragera type on there, and some paper out of I have a book that has Dracula, Frankenstein, and Jekyll and Hyde, and I just use little bits of that, like ink it, and because it's a new book, paperback, and just added, different bits of stuff. This is actually carbon type paper from a receipt. And then this is from I think that's the Haunted kit. And this is my, oh my gosh, Halloween old stuff. That's what that is. And did I not put a card in there? I thought I did. Well, I will be putting a card in there. For some reason, I thought I had one in there. And then this page is an old cardboard, like cereal box type box. I don't remember exactly what that box was, but it's just the top with the flaps. I saw that somewhere and I liked it. They used it just in a collage, but I just have it as a little tuck. It's very small tuck, but yeah, it's mostly a collage. Some writing space here. If you have questions, just ask me. I've done videos for most of it, so there really isn't much that you will miss if you go back and you watch the playlist, so that you can see from beginning to end kind of thing. So that's a junk mail envelope. And then this is some writing space. Here we have a fabric grungy tag, all just bits of fabric stitched onto some flattened corrugated cardboard. It's not as thick as you would imagine when you flatten it like that. And brown paper sack type. And then book page or music page, more of the corrugated cardboard that's been flattened and then collaged all over. That one. And then in here is a pocket. And I put that, I did like kind of like watercoloring with Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. And then I also put gesso over it, so it looks a little muted and grungy, but very large journaling card there. You can see that's a paper bag. That's a HelloFresh bag. Everything's trying to fall out of this tuck. There's a little tuck here. You can write on this page. Tuck there. This is one of the things we did for the, this was inspired by Pinterest video. Yeah. So that is that. And I did add a bunch of gesso and stuff to this one just to grunge it up good. So it goes with this journal. And then this is just a little writing spot with a witchy poo there. And then here we have a large tag. And that's my Halloween old stuff. Halloween old stuff. I have an old stuff and I have a Halloween old stuff. So right on that. That one's pretty floppy. It's just one of the pages from the Halloween old stuff kit folded to make a tag. And then this is an envelope. You can see it's an old envelope. That's actual, but one of the long ones. And I just attached it to flaps. And if you watch this calendar video from the start, you'll see how I did the flaps and everything so that they're attached to the spiral. Writing space here. This is my deserted kit that has these numbers like this. And then we just have a tag and a flashcard spooky pocket there. And then we have Mr. Frankenstein. So these backgrounds are from my secondhand store digital download, and they weren't necessarily meant to be spooky, but they go well if you want to do sort of a Halloween or a fall or just, you know, grungy look. They're great for that. Another writing spot. These are from my Etsy shop. The dried flowers is what they're called. And then we have another journaling card on manila file folder. This is a pasta box with the window, you know, just the piece, obviously. That's a tuck, and then you can write on the back. And then up here we have one of those viewfinder things, and that is in my old stuff digital download, and so is the little pocket here. And then this was just masterboard, collage masterboard that I cut a little tag out of and put in there. And then we have Dracula, and he's tucked right there. And then that picture just kind of holds this flap closed, and inside we have another tag. I didn't stitch around this one or anything. Being that it's in here, I guess I could still stitch around it. I might do that. But I didn't want any fabric on the top of it. So you can write on the back of that one as well. And then I have a teeny tiny old envelope there. And inside is just a spooky house. A spooky ooky house. You guys didn't see me do this. I didn't do this. And then I sketched this tree using a fountain pen that had non-permanent ink. So when I got it wet, it almost works like watercolor. It gives you all that spreading of the color. And then I went back over it when it was dry again, because those leaves, branches, once you put the water on them, they completely bleed all over. And then, you know, you kind of lose the structure of it. So then I went back over it, sketched it over so that it looks more like a tree instead of just blobs. Another daguerreotype there. I like to, you know, sometimes have something hand-drawn or whatever. Not every journal, but, you know, sometimes it just fits. So that's an old envelope as well. It's all textured, old envelope. And on the back, I just put coffee-dyed paper so you could write on it. There's that. And then this, I didn't put anything on this one because it was already getting kind of fat. And I have signed it. And then we're back to the back. So that was a calendar. One of those shiny photo calendars, and it is not shiny anymore. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I had a blast doing it, and like I said, this one is spoken for, so but we will continue on. And I know some of you are waiting for journals, and I am still working, I promise. It's just I'm getting ready for vacation, or I'm already on vacation. I don't know which one yet. I've filmed stuff ahead and all that, but anyways, so when I get back and things get back to normal, I will start making journals again. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will chat with you again soon. Love ya. Bye.